Hey, heart seekers, welcome to the Heart's Hello Show, where we believe that our hearts are the foundation of our well being and happiness. I am your host, Kiana Talena. Let me just first start off by saying that I recorded this episode only to realize that it didn't record. So, this is the second go round for this episode, and it must be good because anytime you run into a problem, a confrontation, an obstacle that you need to be able to overcome, that means that there is something amazing on the other side of you saying, you know what? Don't even worry about it. I'll do it again. And so this leads right into what exactly this episode is going to be about. And it's about being able to take a leap. Yes, we are in a leap year. And yes, I believe that so many of us are afraid to be able to take that first step, to be able to take that leaps. And sometimes it's so scary being able to look over the side and know that there is a potential that if you jump, your wings won't work. I'm here to tell you that in order for you to realize if that is going to happen or not, you're going to have to take that leap. You're going to have to realize that yes, there is going to be some risk. Yes, there is some uncertainty involved. But when you begin to hesitate or fear to take the significant steps into various areas of your life because of fear of failure, rejection, the unknown, the potential for significant life changes, then it's causing you to be afraid to take a leap. And so I need you to just think on one thing right now, one thing that you have been trying to move forward on. But every time you think that you are standing right at the edge of that cliff and you are looking over, you begin to only see all of the obstacles that could potentially hinder you from being able to get the very thing that you said that you want. Now that you have that one thing on your mind, I need you to have a shift in your perspective. I need you to think about it from a different lens. Let's not think about what is going to transpire when you jump. Let's think about it from the aspect of what will happen if you don't. See, it's a little different when you're changing your lens on how you begin to look at life. And oftentimes we look at life based on what we have been through, the opinions of others, what's going on in society. But when we turn that around and think about what will happen if we don't do it, will be even more reason for why you need to. See, there are certain things that people decide that they're just not going to do, or that they have become so stuck in their situation and stagnant and comfortable and okay with the norm that they're afraid to take that leap. See, I was in that place as well, even just in this transitional point in my life where I'm transitioning careers, have transitioned out of relationships, have transitioned just in being this version of who you hear talking to you. But it did not come from me being so comfortable in my space that I was so afraid to take a leap of faith because I was afraid of what was going to happen on the way down. See, no, I'm that person that's going to jump and then build my wings on the way down because I realize that if I can only see the fear in front of me, then that is the place where I'm always going to be stuck. And so for me, the stagnation, the fear of being stuck is enough to push me over the edge. And so I need you all to get to a place where you realize that you have to take action. And sometimes it may not be a huge leap. Sometimes it just may be a step forward. Sometimes it may be a tiptoe. But I need you to get to a place where you have to be uncomfortable with being comfortable. See, when we think about just different things that people want to change within their lives, it could be for some of you all a career change where you're leaving your stable job for a new career path or starting a business. I get it that the fear sometimes is involved just around your financial insecurity or the possibility of your failure and you stepping outside of your comfort zone because you've been in the career for far too long. And now it's time for you to shift, but because you're comfortable in this space, it's causing you to be stuck. For some of you all, it could be relocation, being able to move to a new city or country for the opportunities that can change your lifestyle, that can change your life. But the fear of losing something, the familiarity of your social networks, you're adapting to new cultures, and the uncertainty of whether the move will improve your life will cause you to be in the same zip code that you grew up in. And sometimes the very thing that you need is going to be outside of your comfort zone. Zip code. Change it. It's okay. It's okay. See, others of you may be having this fear or starting or ending a relationship. I get it. I've been there. Being able to walk away from what I knew, the comfortability of a marriage, being able to walk away from that, for me, that was frightening. But beginning a new relationship and leaving an unsatisfying one, yes, it's scary. Yes, people fear the vulnerability of being able to open up to someone new and or just the loneliness and the uncertainty that may come from ending a relationship. But let me ask you this question. What will happen if you don't? What will happen if you stay where you know that you are not supposed to be? See, these are the questions that we need to begin to ask ourselves, because most of the time we stay in situations and we're like, this is where it must be that I'm supposed to be. But if it's not right, are you okay with being able to walk away from it, knowing that your newness is on the other side? Now, I'm not saying that just because you are trying to leave one situation to get into something else because you believe that the grass is greener on the other side. No, I'm talking about when you're knowing, when your Holy Spirit, when whatever it is, your spidey sense is telling you that something is off. Are you okay with being able to walk away? Others of you, it may just be your personal development. The undertaking of being able to self-improve. It may be you going back to school. It could be you learning a new skill, changing your lifestyle for health reasons, whatever it is. That leap may involve a fear of commitment, a fear of not being capable enough, a fear of challenging or altering your established habits. But what will happen if you don't? What will happen if you don't go back to school? What will happen if you don't learn this new skill? Let's start taking leaps. Others of you, it may very well just be your finances. Being able to make substantial financial decisions like buying a home or investing in the stock market or saving for retirement. I get it. Fear is sometimes rooted in the risk of loss or your lack of knowledge and the potential of an impact on your financial security. But what will happen if you don't buy that house? See, there are so many people, even right now, who have been putting off purchasing a home because they're just like, oh, the time is not right. The time is not right. And guess what? Now that they are ready to be able to move forward, the interest rates are ridiculously high. So you have to start thinking about what will happen if I don't. Those people now are kicking themselves because they wish that they would have moved their feet when the economy was moving in the right direction. It's going to turn back around, but what will happen if your now is right now? Others of you, it could be public speaking, being able to step into the spotlight and to speak and perform and present in front of audiences. I get it. This is one of the number one fears of people, just being able to get up in front of people that they don't know and open their mouths. Why? Because it's a fear of judgment, being able to make a mistake, or being able to say that you did not meet the expectations of those in the audience. Guess what? Let me say this to you. So what? So what if you don't get it right? So what if you stumble up on a word? So what if you get up there and you freeze? But you did it. It's going to take practice. You're not going to get it right the first time. So you still have to be in position to move forward. Others of you, it may just be you pursuing your dreams. Committing to pursuing your dreams or a passion project like writing your book, starting a blog, opening up a business. I get it that it's the fear involved with your doubts about your talent. You're thinking about the practicality of your pursuit and what will happen if you don't achieve success. Again, I'm going to say it. So what? So what if it's not perfect? So what? You can't be so focused on what everyone else is going to think about you. Do what you know that you are supposed to do, because someone is waiting on you. Someone is waiting on your creative passion. Someone is waiting on you to step into your purpose. Someone is waiting on you to show up with the dreams and visions that you have been given, because they do not belong to you. So will you pursue them, or will you just hold on to it? Miles Monroe said that the richest place is the graveyard. And so will you take all of those dreams and visions and gifts and talents that you have with you when you die? No one benefits from that. So take the leap. Take the leap. Some of you all may be just facing your own personal fears or challenges. Addressing your personal fears directly, you have to be able to face those things head on. You have to be able to confront your past traumas to be able to heal. See, leaping involves you being able to face your discomfort. I get it that it can be emotionally painful. But what will happen if you do not overcome the fear? That will always be your stopping point. You will never get past the fear that every time you come up to it, you sit there just like a red light that has now turned green, but you still think it's red. No, you have to move past the fear so that you can hit the next level. If that's always going to be the place where you're going to stop, guess what? You won't get to the destination that you are trying to reach, because you're still sitting at that light. You're still afraid of what will potentially happen. You're still afraid to be able to confront the past trauma so that you can heal and become whole. For others of you, it may just be you voicing your opinion or being able to stand up for what you believe. See, I believe that so many of us are afraid to be able to express ourselves in situations because it invites criticism and conflict. You may just very well need to be able to advocate for social justice or whatever that may be, but I get that it can be daunting. Why? Because people will sometimes, there's a potential for backlash or damaging relationships or just being misunderstood. But if you don't voice your opinion, then who will? Someone is going to have to take the stand, and that someone, it could be you. Will you stand up for what you believe in? Will you be able to open your mouth and voice your opinion and not just leave where it is that you've heard that something is wrong and you go and you talk to everybody else about the problem? No, you are set up with a solution. And your solution could be in the opinion that you have to cause someone else to think about something differently. So I get it, you all. I get that overcoming fears is often sometimes a combination of just your self-reflection, your planning, being able to seek support. But if you don't recognize the growth and the opportunity that comes from just taking leaps, then you will always be fear-based. Always be fear-based. And so I just want to give you an acronym that I created for the word LEAP that's going to help to motivate you and that can be your guiding principle as you begin to inspire action and change. So the very first thing is going to be L, learn. We have to be able to embrace continuous learning. Why? Because it's the fundamental step. See, knowledge empowers action and it reduces your fear of the unknown. I used to hear someone say that knowledge is power, and I disagree with that. Knowledge is potential power because it's going to be based on what you do with the information that you have been given. It's just like with Solomon in the Bible. He had all of the wisdom, but guess what? He was able to take that and turn it. Not just being able to ask for the wisdom, but he was able to use it not just for his benefit, but for the benefit of others. And then we have E, evaluate. So you're going to regularly assess your goals, your strategies, and your progress. It's your ability to be able to reflect where you are versus where you want to be. It helps you to refine your path. Then we have A, to act. See, this is the main thing that I think most people get stuck at, is the ability to be able to move from planning to doing, to be able to take the small steps forward, which can build momentum and lead to your achievements. Then we have P, to persevere, to be able to maintain commitment despite the challenges. See, I like the story of David in the Bible because it was him stepping onto the scene as just this shepherd boy, seeing all of these soldiers that have been mocked by this giant. But see, David realized that you all are afraid of this giant who has now been mocking your God. Do you not think that the God you serve is going to protect you in battle? And that's how I look at fear. That's how I think that sometimes we need to look at it as our Goliath. See, when David believed that regardless of, he didn't need all of the armor, he didn't need to be trained on the battlefield, he didn't need all of these different things, but what he realized is that David had purpose down in his heart. And he believed in God like no other. And he's like, no, y'all just gonna stay around and watch him mock your God? No. And that's how we need to be with our fears. See, no one thought that he was going to go out there and beat the giant. No one thought that he was going to succeed. But David's like, you know what? I can't just stand idly by and continue to watch this day in and day out. I have to do something. And so even if that means that he would have to go out here to lose his life, he was willing to do so. Now, I'm not saying that you have to go out and lose your life, but what I need you to get into your mind is that he didn't know what was going to transpire when he went up against this giant. But he did realize the God that he served. And for him, that was enough. So what is going to be enough for you? What is going to be able to cause you to step in front of your Goliath? What is going to be your motivating factor for you to reach down and pick up your smooth stones and say, you know what? I'm going to give it a try. I don't know what's going to happen, but I would rather step out on this battlefield and take my chances than to be sitting in this same spot next year, year after year, in hopes that what it is that you're hoping for, dreaming for, desiring for is just going to show up. Well, let me just tell you that it's not. What you want is not going to show up without you being able to put some work to it. See, the word says faith without works is dead. Yes, there are going to be some things that are going to come to you, but then the majority of the things you have to work for. You can't just expect things to show up in your space without you having to do any work for it. How will you maintain it? Because if you only got it by just it falling into your lap, you don't have the wherewithal. You don't have the intentionality. You don't have the consistency to be able to keep it. So the work is not just so that you can say, oh my gosh, I'm out here hustling. No, the work is for you to realize that it took some work for me to get it. And so it's going to take some work for me to keep it. So as you are thinking about going into this leap that you are getting ready to make, into this, well, we're already in this leap year. Figure out what it is that you need to do and do it. Stop overthinking it. You've already done that, and it has gotten you nowhere. Stop wavering. It has gotten you nowhere. Either you're going to be hot or cold. Pick one. You cannot be lukewarm or sit in the middle and expect what you want to show up in your life. If you're wanting to transition in your career, do the work. If you're wanting to transition into new relationships or being able to leave some, do the work. Because there's going to be a new version of you that needs to emerge. And if you're not going to do the new work, you're going to be taking that old person into a new relationship, that old mindset into a new relationship, your old work habits into a new career, or into a business that you're trying to establish. Some of you all are trying to figure out why your business is not working, and that's because you don't even show up to your job with 100%. So how are you going to show up in a business? Let's get real. We have to do the work. We have to do the work because our leap, our growth is going to involve our learning and preparation through evaluation, decisive action, and persistent effort through challenges. Are you ready? I'm amped up. I am ready to go. And I'm hoping that you all are ready to go with me. Why? Because we are on this journey together. It's not just about me. It's not just about you. It's about all of us getting to where it is that we say that we want to go. It's all of us going on this journey. So let's embrace it. Let's show up and be the best version of ourselves that we can be. Because it's our job. It's our responsibility. It's our role to do the work. So I just want to thank you for joining me for another adventure of the Heart's Hello Show. We're together, we embrace vulnerability, learn from each other, and spread love, one heartfelt hello at a time.